Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, traders. This is Abdurrahman from FXAltariq.com, and here is what's on my radar this February the 1st, 2016. Let's kick this month off with a nice bout of trading. We start off with the weekly charts since this is the first day of the week and also the first day of the month. And here we have on the chart the Euro Aussie weekly chart, and we have a Acapulco trade set up. Now, originally this was also a belt trade, so this is I would say, continuation of what a belt trade may be. Now, the only thing I don't like about this particular trade is the risk reward. If we enter into this trade around in these levels, it's going to get caught up here, and it has a 450 pip with a approximately 800 pip risk. So I would be a little bit cautious to enter into on this particular trade because of getting banged up in here and possibly down in these levels. Here, let me just look at one quick thing. It would come to a 1-for-1 if it were to come down in here. So a trade that we would have to sit on the sidelines maybe and wait and see what happens, or not enter into that particular trade due to the risk reward. Let's move down to the Euro Japan. The Euro Japan did print a bullish candle here and went off, and it looks to have a decent risk reward if it gets back up into these levels with the easing of the interest rates with Japan. So 750 with a 500 potential risk reward. Another trade that is on the radar this week. Let's move over to the Euro Great Britain. The reason this is on my radar is that there is a potential pogo trade set up. Those of you who are familiar with the pogo trade, going through the mentor course, you will see this as a potential pogo trade set up for the next week. Let's go over to Great Britain, US dollar on the cable. Not much has happened here over the last 2 weeks, being neutral and holding at the support and resistance level at the 1.4215 level on the chart. So we're going to have to wait and see what's going to happen with cable, whether a continuation in the drop or a move up. But on the weekly charts, there is no trade for that particular trade. And that's it on the weekly charts. Let's move over to the daily charts. Before we do that, I'm looking at the EuroCAD, and the EuroCAD is on the radar. A beautiful belt trade here that was set up. Acapulco is also in the house on this one as well. So look for a trade coming out this week off of the EuroCAD, especially with the oil and the way in which the oil is going. I think we have a nice setup here as well. On the chart now is the Aussie Japan looking for a potential a moolah trade setting up on here as well. We will see once it hits this 86.12 on the chart, and if these have been taken out, the stops over here on this side have been taken out. So look for a drop. I look for a potential drop either in this trade or a continuation up, and more likely a continuation in the upward movement because of the Japanese interest rate fiasco that they did on Friday, saying they wouldn't do it, but they did it anyhow. We move down to the Great Britain, New Zealand. Another interesting chart where it's just holding firmly in the last 2 days at the 1.0934 level on the chart. This could go either way with the Aussie against the Kiwi, either up or down. Watch and see. Let's watch and see what happens on that. The euro dollar, excellent bend trade is in the house on this one as well. But again, still inside the box. Those that want to trade up and down inside the box may do so at their own discretion. If you're going to trade, obviously I would prefer to trade going back up instead of going back down because of the risk reward potential on that one. But there is a beautiful bend trade that did set up here. I would be looking for a counter trend trade on this one. Not so much the risk reward at the lower echelons here as well. With the Euro Aussie, it has now exit out of the box. Let's see if we get a fake out and get a return back to the level here and enter somewhere along the lines for a last kiss trade over in this area in the next coming days or so. So on the watch list. That one's on the watch list. Great Britain, New Zealand, the trade in which we're in. It's in good shape. It's doing what it's supposed to be doing, and we hold off on there as well. Great Britain, US dollar, we had a bend trade, went up, back down, and we have a mountain sitting here now with peaks. We'll wait and see what happens with this particular trade as well. May be interesting to get into a trade on Tuesday with this one. Great Britain CAD, again, another trade at which we're going to be looking for a last kiss trade somewhere over in this area here, or if it continues to fall down into these levels, there's not much risk reward that is sitting here for us. This is a bend trade that did set up, but the risk reward is very small, so I wouldn't be interested into a trade with the Great Britain CAD. So let's go with the Great Britain Aussie. Same thing. We'll look for a retouch back up on these levels here. If not, you'll wait and see what happens with the Aussie, whether or not it'll fall back down to the 1.9684 level on the chart as well. So wait and see on the Aussie. Looking for a confirmation, guys. And the US Swissy, the Rhino, did push through as I predicted. We'll go back up to these levels here, and then we'll wait and see what type of trade sets up for that one as well, off of the daily chart, off of the US Swissy, US Swiss. Got some new posts that will be coming up on the only20pips.com. The only 20 pips Forex trading system had a wonderful week last week, 140 pips, 90% win rate. Take a look at that article that's going to be posted as well, and some other stuff that's going to be coming out this week. With that said, you guys have a magnificent day on purpose, and I will talk with you soon.